step on the court where the legends are made. Fantasy dreams where the stats get paid. Brock Lesnar's throne.
Brock Lesnar Hoops Fantasy Basketball.
Yo, this is Brock Lesnar of Brock Lesnar Hoops doing an impromptu live stream. If you could do me a favor, smash that like button for me. Subscribe to Brock Lesnar Hoops if you have not yet. What we will be doing is going over some of the top performances from last night, and we're going to glean using my BLH formula and benchmarks. We're going to glean who are the top pickups, who are some sleepers, and who are the top lines producing in the categories that we really value. All right, let's get this video started. All right. So we discussed the benchmarks. I won't go over them too much, but here they are if you want to glean at the benchmarks. Guards, I identify as point guard, shooting guard eligible players, and big, small forward, power forward, center eligible players. And I have slightly different benchmarks for each because the responsibilities for a big and the responsibilities for a guard are a little bit different. I also use efficiency gates, and that's how I determine the top lines and who the breakouts are. And I want them to hit at least 3 of 7 pillars or efficiency gates, or they have a volume exception, which means they had points, rebounds, and assists above 50. So this is how I screen out a lot of the games to identify the players that fit my builds the most and the builds that I try to share with you that you should apply. So the other pillars that I met are steals, blocks, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, stocks, which requires a minimum 1 steal, minimum 1 block, and an assist to turnover ratio of at least 2. And then the volume exception we just talked about. So the priority ads, if you need a too long, did not read from the very beginning, today are Ryan Rollins, Aaron Wiggins, Quentin Grimes, Kyshawn George, Pelle Larsson, and Bub Carrington. We're going to do a deeper dive into the reasons why they're the priority ads, and they should be available in at least 50% of your leagues, at least as far as Yahoo's concerned. So the top lines. All right, so Alex Sarr, a guy I heavily hyped during the preseason because he had that unicorn potential, the ability to get blocks, the ability to get threes, and he was a rookie. So I kind of predicted there would be a leap in his production as a second-year player, and we've seen that leap in his production. Played 36 minutes, got you 31 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. He did get 5 turnovers, so the assist-to-turnover ratio isn't where I want it, but 2 steals, 2 blocks, hit 3 3-pointers. 13 of his 23 shots last year, he killed your field goal percentage and didn't really help your free throw percentage. Last night, hit both of his free throws. So if you drafted him normally around pick 75 to 85, you have to be very excited with what you're seeing. And in a lot of different formats for the fantasy basketball playoffs, the Wizards have a great schedule. So if he can stay healthy, this guy might be on a lot of championship teams. Tyrese Maxey played 37 minutes, and he's continued to play at a torrid pace. Made 39 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, got you a steal, a block, assist to turnover ratio of 2.5, and he hit 3 3-pointers. Took 25 shots, which on a team full of guys taking a lot of shots is crazy. Made 11 of them. Took 16 free throws, also crazy, made 87% of them. So if you drafted Tyrese Maxey, which I did in a few of my leagues, this guy has the potential to produce at a top 10 level if he keeps this up. Now, keep in mind, Paul George has not come back, but the 76ers would be crazy, I think, at this point to sacrifice production from Tyrese Maxey for Paul George. They just need to read the tea leaves. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, a guy you're going to see often on these lists because he is damn near the perfect 9 category player. Played 35 minutes, 31 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, got you a steal, 3 blocks from a guard. That's why, I mean, it's not the only reason why I love him, but the fact that he's one of the best shot blocking guards in the league is why I think he's so valuable, on top of the fact that he just contributes volume and efficiency. That combination of volume contributions, also highly efficient. It's rare to find, and why you need to spend a top 3 pick in most situations to draft them. Met 4 of our 7 efficiency pillars, which again just shows how well-rounded he is. Giannis Antetokounmpo, another guy that's been absolutely balling so far this season. I didn't draft him heavily, and when I did draft him, I did move him because I don't like guys that hurt my free throw percentage on volume. But I'm kind of regretting trading him, seeing the way that he's producing, even though the free throw percentage damage and the turnover damage have not changed. So ultimately, I think I made the right move. But last night got you 37 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Did get you 2 blocks, no steals, no threes. The assist to turnover ratio at 1.8. Made 16 of his 22 shots. So hitting that many shots at 72% from the field, your field goal percentage is probably looking great this morning, but your free throw percentage is probably bottom of the league. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you're a Giannis owner and you're doing well in free throw percentage, let me know in the comments. Quentin Grimes, a lot of questions about Quentin Grimes I've been receiving. He got 23 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 3 3-pointers. Made 7 of his 17 shots, so he hurt you there, but took 6 free throws, and he made all of them. Met 7 of our 10 benchmarks and 4 of our 7 efficiency pillars. People are asking me, should I pick up Quentin Grimes? It's really hard right now to tell you to drop somebody with season-long value just because, again, we don't have Paul George back. McCain isn't back yet. You have Embiid getting a ton of touches when he's playing. You have Paul George who's going to get touches. You have Maxey who's going to get touches. You have Kelly Oubre who's been getting touches. You have VJ Edgecombe who's getting touches. They all can't continue to produce this way on the same team. There's only one basketball. Unless they play at the fastest pace in the history of the NBA, somebody's going to have to fall off, and you're kind of playing musical chairs. Is it going to be Quentin Grimes? Is it going to be Kelly Oubre? I know it's not going to be Maxey. Maybe it's Paul George. I doubt it's going to be Embiid, but Embiid is injury prone, not even playing back-to-backs. So if you do pick him up based on today's production, just know it might not be sustainable. But if he's available in your league and you want to take that gamble, at least until Paul George returns and we get to really see what the rotation is going to look like, what the minutes distribution will look like, what the shot attempts will look like, I guess it's worth the gamble. But don't drop anyone that has a secure role just because they're underperforming. If you used one of your top 4 to 5 picks and one of your guys is underperforming and you see Quentin Grimes and you want to drop them, just hold off. We haven't seen enough. We don't have enough data to make drastic determinations like that yet. Kyshawn George continues to produce at a very high level. He's been one of my surprise sleepers so far this season. Played 33 minutes, got you 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. And by the way, if you see the number glowing in green, that indicates that they went above that specific benchmark. So that should help you understand where guys are helping you. Got you 4 3-pointers, got you 2 steals, a block, assist to turnover ratio of 7. I love that so much. That makes him very valuable if he can continue to get you a lot of assists without getting you a lot of turnovers while contributing in all of these other areas. He met 7 of the 10 benchmarks and 4 of the 7 efficiency pillars. Bilal Coulibaly has not returned. I'm curious how the return of Bilal Coulibaly would affect his long-term production. Hopefully they can both play together and both produce, but it's possible that once the team has Bilal Coulibaly back, that you'll see a reduction in some of this production from Kyshawn George. So that's something to at least account for. Ryan Rollins, we talked about him in my waiver wire short video yesterday, but he's had his best game of the season. Got you 25 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, no blocks, only 2 turnovers, 4 3-pointers, assist to turnover ratio of 2, made 8 of his 11 field goal attempts, 5 of his 5 free throws, met 6 of the 10 benchmarks and 4 of the 7 efficiency pillars. This guy is widely available still. Kevin Porter Jr. has been injured, but if Ryan Rollins continues to play like this, he should continue to get minutes. It's still very early in the season. We've never seen sustained production from him to make a drastic move. But if you're in a deeper format, he's probably already gone just based on the last few games. But in the 12-team league, if you're pondering who can I pick up and your waiver wire's bare and you're banking on some upside, somebody that in a month or two has the potential of being a top 50 player, I think Ryan Rollins is that sort of lottery ticket. But again, a lottery ticket means unlikely to happen. But if it does happen, you'll be very happy. And hang around. If you hang around till the end of this video, I will answer some questions and hang out. We can drink some juice, and have some pastries, and just have community. Aaron Wiggins has also appeared a lot in these nightly breakdowns. He continues to produce. I thought that team would be too stacked. They are dealing with some injuries. Like Jalen Williams hasn't been playing. But Aaron Wiggins, 18.6 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, 3 blocks, assist to turnover ratio of 2, also hit 4 3-pointers. So anytime you're going to get me 4 3-pointers and 3 blocks, you're going to be on my radar. Took 15 shot attempts and made 7 of them. Hit 7 of the 10 benchmarks, 4 of the 7 efficiency pillars. So his all-around production is on full display. Will he continue it once Jalen Williams is fully acclimated? My guess is it's not sustainable, but the Thunder are so good, it's possible that they're going to be resting their starters frequently, maybe towards the end of the season, and then Aaron Wiggins might be one of those guys that benefits when Shea is sitting or Jalen is sitting or maybe even Chet is sitting because they're readying up for the playoffs. I'm assuming they'll be that dominant. It's still very early in the season to make that sort of prediction, but I feel it feels safe. Mikal Bridges, one of my favorite targets in fantasy basketball. I think he's one of the ultimate glue guys because he gives you a little bit of everything, and on any given night, he can go off for 50 points, or he can go off and get you 3 blocks, or he can go off and get you 4 blocks. Just he helps you in almost every single category. Maybe not every single night, but he averages out to a solid across-the-board contributor. 24 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. You can see there by the glowing green that he went above the benchmarks on all of those. Did not get you any steals or blocks. Typically, he's going to get you a couple, but he also didn't get you any turnovers at all. So 6 assists, 0 added to your turnover column. Took 16 shots, made 50% of them. Took 5 shots, made 5 of them. So he met 7 of the 10 benchmarks and 3 of the efficiency pillars. What more could you want from this guy? This guy's the ultimate glue guy, and the Knicks have a few of them. OG Anunoby's another ultimate glue guy, and the Knicks have had their most successful season in decades, coinciding with having these players on their team. Jalen Brunson, another one of those hyper-efficient volume players. So I don't think that's a coincidence at all. So low ownership breakout. I would not target this guy outside of a very, very deep league. But Pelle Larsson had 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, got you a steal, a block. I'm sorry, no blocks, no turnovers, 3 3-pointers. Didn't get you any turnovers at all. So he has an infinite assist to turnover ratio. Field goal percentage at 60%, made 2 of his 2 free throws. Now, keep in mind, Norman Powell did not play, so there might not be 25 minutes available to him often. But if you're in a really deep format, might as well pick him up and see if he could sustain production for at least the next few days or the next few weeks. So some useful lines. These are lines that weren't quite top performance lines because they missed having enough benchmarks, or maybe they did not hit the efficiency gates, but they are still useful lines that can help your team. So Jalen Brunson, 36 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, did get you 2 steals, took 14 shots. I'm sorry, took 25 shots and made 14 of them, shooting 56% from the field. Took 9 free throws, made 7 of them. 77% is lower than you're normally going to get from him at the free throw line. Like we said, he only met 3 of the 10 benchmarks, but did get you a combined 43 points, rebounds, and assists. So we wanted to recognize him. Steph Curry, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists. And those 8 assists came with 0 turnovers. So highly valuable. 7 of his 15 field goal attempts at 46.7% and hit all of his free throws. So met 4 of our 10 benchmarks. And Steph Curry, he's been pretty reliable so far this season as long as he stays healthy. If you picked him up in the second round, and with the schedule that the Warriors have during the fantasy basketball playoff schedules, he's another guy I predict will be on a lot of championship teams. Zach LaVine, and ignore this, he's no longer on Chicago. He's with the Sacramento Kings, but he had 23 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, hit 4 3-pointers, made 6 of his 13 shots, 7 of his 7 free throws. So Zach LaVine, normally you're not going to get any steals and blocks, but he can score efficiently. He can get you a ton of free throws very efficiently, and he can get you, on occasion, some assists. So if you want those metrics and are strong enough in steals and blocks in other areas, Zach LaVine is a guy that can be a big pillar for you. Colin Sexton, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, took 11 shots, made 7 of them, hit both of his free throws. Jaime Jaquez Jr., 28 points, 5 assists, 3 out of 10 benchmarks met. And he's been a strong producer so far this season. I don't know how reliable the role is going to be, though, once you have Tyler Hero back, once you have Norman Powell playing. But right now, his ownership is really low. I'd say he has some 12-team value the way that he's producing. I mean, the guy just dropped 28 points and 5 assists, went above on both benchmarks, and he hit all 8 of his free throws. So the upside is definitely there. But I caution you, it's early in the season. These are very small sample sizes. Teams do readjust. So be careful just dropping somebody that has season-long value just because they're underproducing now, and then picking up somebody like Jaime Jaquez, who is producing well right now, but maybe in a week or two falls off completely, and now you've given up a very strong player for somebody that's not sustainable. All of this, of course, is hypothetical, but just be careful when making certain moves. Andrew Wiggins sighting had 21 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, met 5 of the 10 benchmarks. And I'm sorry about the wrong team names, man, like Golden State Warriors. He's with the Heat. The issue is I use Claude to help me come up with these artifacts with the backdrop so that you can get the text, so that you can see the numbers nice and clear, because that's feedback that you guys gave me that it was hard to see the numbers on mobile. So I've worked on that. But since it uses old information, it'll go and do weird things like change the teams. So the team for Andrew Wiggins is not the Golden State Warriors. It's the Miami Heat. And because Norman Powell did not play, he was able to play 31 minutes. He was able to take 15 shot attempts and made 8 of them, had 3 steals, 21 points, got you 3 3-pointers, had a combined 4 steals and blocks. So pretty balanced production from Andrew Wiggins. That's normally not what you're going to get with him, though, which is why he's available on a lot of waiver wires. But in a deeper format, or if you're in a league, a 12-team league that has maybe 15 roster spots or more, I'd pick him up and see maybe Norman Powell misses a few games, so he has some short-term streamer production. Or maybe the guy won a championship not that long ago and he's not that old. Hopefully he can do better than he's done so far this season. Brandon Pozinski, 12 points, 5 rebounds, got you a steal, got you a block, no turnovers, took 10 shots, made 5 of them. So he met 5 of our 10 benchmarks. He's a pretty versatile guard that can get you rebounds out of position. He can score. He can get you defensive numbers. He's not always the most consistent, and he can hurt your field goal percentage and your free throw percentage, but there's enough upside there to give him a look. Isaiah Hartenstein, he was kind of a borderline ad. He only got you 4 points, but 14 rebounds and 2 blocks. That's pretty nice big man production. And he got you 3 assists, which for a big man, I don't hate it, especially considering he also got you 0 turnovers. So didn't hurt your free throw percentage at all because he didn't take any. Made 2 of his 3 shots. not enough shot attempts to really be helpful, but at least he didn't hurt you in that category. So rebounds, assists, and a sprinkle of blocks, that's about all you should expect from Isaiah Hartenstein, unless you see an injury to someone like Chet Holmgren. Then in that scenario, I think you'll see more scoring. You'll still see the rebounding, but you also see more assists and maybe even some more defensive numbers from him. He's actually a good handcuff if you do have Chet. Kelly Oubre Jr., we just talked about that potent 76ers team that continues to have multiple players going off nightly. 17 points, 11 rebounds, got you 3 3-pointers, got you a steal and a block. 13 shot attempts, only made 5 of them, so he hurt you there, but made 4 of his 5 free throw attempts, so he met 4 of the 10 benchmarks. CJ McCollum probably had his strongest game of the season, got you 14 points, a rebound, 7 assists, didn't get you any, got you 1 turnover, so a 7 assist to turnover ratio, had 2 3-pointers, 4 of his 14 shots. That's where I don't like having him. He can really hurt my field goal percentage. And typically he's been hurting your free throw percentage the last few seasons as well, even though last night he did hit all 4 of them. Hopefully we can get the field goal percentage higher, because a lot of times that I want to move on from him, it's because he's hurting my percentages, even though his volume numbers are decent. And he also doesn't get enough steals and blocks to make up for it. So the sleeper watch, and these are guys that you're going to find in the majority of your league. So you have Bub Carrington, played 37 minutes, also had probably his best game of the season, 10 points, 5 rebounds, which goes above the benchmark, 5 assists, also above the benchmark, got you a steal, a block, 2 3-pointers, an assist to turnover ratio of 2.5. Only took 6 shot attempts, but made half of them. Only took 2 free throws, but made both of them. So I dropped him in one of my leagues yesterday because I wanted to gamble on somebody else. And then I kind of regretted that I dropped him after seeing him have that sort of game. It's still boring. It's not like it was super exciting, but it's definitely a step in the right direction because he has very high offensive upside. This is a guy, I don't know how soon, but you will see him dropping 20 points per game with 6 to 7 assists per game consistently. Will that be this season, though? That's what I don't know. Nikola Jovic. Is it Jovic or Jovic? Because I know with Jokic, it's Jokic, but with Jovic, I don't know if it's the same thing. Let me know in the comments, because I hate when you guys roast me for mispronouncing these European basketball players' names. So Jovic, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 3-pointers, only took 7 shots, but made 4 of them. Didn't take any free throws at all. He's a guy that typically can help you get assists from the center position while also being able to hit some threes. Isn't really a stocks guy. I'd say he's a low and big if you're in a deeper format. I don't see me picking him up in a 12-team league unless I see him getting like 25 to 30 minutes consistently and producing consistently. But it seems he's in the timeshare with Khalil Ware, and it seems to be affecting both of them. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 10.6 rebounds, got you 3 steals, made 5 of his 5 field goal attempts. He's with the Charlotte Hornets, and the Hornets have a very strong schedule the remainder of this week. So he's going to be a popular streamer that has some long-term potential. Landry Shamet had 16 points, 3 rebounds, 4 3-pointers made, and assist to turnover ratio of only 1. So he's more of a punt assist type of guard, but he can get you a lot of threes really quickly, and he's typically not going to turn over the ball a lot because he's mostly a spot-up shooter. 5 of his 11 field goal attempts, 2 of his 2 free throws. He's just a 3-point specialist. That's all you should pick him up for in a deep format. Quentin Post sighting played 24 minutes, had 12 points, 8 rebounds. Got you 4 3-pointers, a steal, and a block. So the most promising thing to me is that minute allotment. Is he going to continue getting 20-plus minutes? Then in a deep format, a guy that can get you rebounds and 3-pointers makes him very valuable. And I know right now people aren't really targeting him at all. I don't think a lot of people even know who he is. So I'd pick him up if you need a big man with upside and you're thin at the center position in like a 14-team or deeper. Does he have 12-team league value right now? No, but I wouldn't be surprised later on in the season if he does, especially if they end up trading somebody like Kuminga away. All right, so I wanted to finish this part of the video by wrapping up the rest of week 2 and identifying the teams that still have a strong schedule for the remainder of the week. This should help you with your streaming. This should help you structure your calendar where you don't have too many guys playing, let's say tomorrow. Too many guys playing tonight or too many guys playing on Friday, which are the heavy days. So OKC has 2 games left on Thursday and Saturday. So those are the 2 remaining light days, which is why Aaron Wiggins, if he's available on your waiver wire, Kyshawn Wallace, somebody else that could be helpful to stream. Orlando has 3 games left, and of those 3 games, they play Thursday and Saturday. Indiana also plays Thursday and Saturday with 3 games left. Phoenix has 3 left, which includes Saturday. Toronto has 3 left, and that includes Saturday. They do play Sunday, but Sunday's one of the heavier days for the week. Dallas has only 2 games left, but they have Thursday and Saturday games, which makes them valuable streamers if you're too loaded already Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. The New York Knicks only have 2 games. They have 2 games left. That is Thursday and Saturday. So New York Knicks streamers, maybe Mitchell Robinson, if he's available, could be a good stream for you. The Los Angeles Clippers only have 1 game left this week, so you want to keep that in mind. But they do have a very strong schedule next week. So if you're sitting pretty and you can stomach picking up a Clipper now to have them next week, then in that scenario, I would recommend them. But if you're trying to be competitive this week, avoid Clippers players if at all possible. And then the final breakdown that this shows here is the elite benchmarks versus the benchmarks that I'm using to analyze and really screen out the players that I don't want to cover and identify the players that I do want to cover and bring to you on this channel. So elite versus my benchmarks. The elite benchmark is real simple. I took the 2024-2025 All-Stars, all NBA players, and all defensive players, and then I averaged out their categories. And then I compared that to my benchmark. So, for example, for an elite player, the field goal percentage average is 50.2%. For my benchmarks, it's 45% plus for a guard or 47% plus for a big. I'm not going to go and break down every single one, but it just shows you how close my benchmarks I use to identify these players are to the most successful players in the NBA, and I don't think that's a coincidence. Some other ones that are similar, 3-pointers made, the average is 1.8. For me, it's 2.5 plus for guards or 1 plus for a big. If you average out the 2, you're not far away from that 1.8. Points, we're dead on the money. 21 points per game is the average for the all-elite players. Now, rebounding, I'm a little more forgiving than the average, which is 7. The assist is about, again, smack dab in the middle of my benchmark. Steals, very close. Blocks, very close. Steals and blocks, very close. And the assist-to-turnover ratio is 1.8 for those players. For my benchmarks, I have it at 2+. So I just want you to see that these benchmarks are not pulled out of my rear end. They're based on my instincts that I've developed over the 15+ years I've been playing, and me trying to create a framework that captures those instincts so that I can share them with you and hopefully help you reach that diamond tier status. And if you're just wondering, and I've shared this a lot, but what makes me credible, I've been playing since 2007, but the only profile I have has only been active since 2011. And since 2011, I've been diamond tier 11+ times. Currently, I have a rating of 955, which makes me a diamond tier. My win rate is 66.2%. My record is, at the moment, 1,603 wins, 795 losses, and 89 ties. With my system, you tend to force a decent amount of ties, which prevents you from losing as badly as you could with some other punt builds. I've won 68 trophies with 27 first-place trophies, 24 second-place trophies, and 18 third place trophy. So I only share that so that you know there's some credibility behind the advice that I am giving you. And there's some insight and a lot of experience behind the opinions that I share with you, because I value giving you information that's actionable and actually helpful to your team. All right, I guess now I can answer some questions, because that was essentially my breakdown. All right. And before I start answering questions, I did want to let you know that I was just approved to monetize my YouTube channel. So one of the things we have that you can do to support the channel, we now have super thanks, and we also have membership tiers. So if you sign up to be a member of Brock Lesnar Hoops, as a member, you will have access to exclusive content. I'm going to do live streams that are only for Brock Lesnar Hoops members. I am going to do Rate My Team videos that are exclusive to Brock Lesnar Hoops members. And depending on the tier you join, you could even connect with me on social media and be in a chat with me where you can come on any given time and be like, hey, Brock, what's up with this? How can you help me here? And I will tune in regularly to help you out. So if you want to support the work I'm doing, but you also want more access to me and the insights that I can provide you, maybe you're in a competitive money league, and if you end up winning that league, you walk away with a couple thousands of dollars, then I think this is a very small investment in having somebody consulting you on your team with the experience that I have. Just wanted to put that out there because we just rolled that out. All right, so Eat My Short says, yo, man, what's up? I got Dyson Daniels in the 4th round. What should I do with him? Ooh, yeah, he's been disappointing so far this season. I didn't pick him up heavily last year because I didn't think his pace was sustainable, but then he did it for a full season. So my guess is that we will see him bounce back and that you'll regret dropping him now if you do. He did what he did last season, a historical season over an entire year. I think he's just in a slump. I think the early season is the most logical time for players to be in a slump. They're probably rusty, haven't played basketball competitively to this degree in months. So I'd give him a little bit longer, because you're going to really regret it when he's having those 8 steal games and he's scoring 14, 15 points per game, and you gave up on him too soon. So glad I picked up Rollins before this gem of a game. Yeah, he was in my sleeper video and my nightly breakdown video just yesterday, and then he went and had a game like that. But that's why I applied this system, because you can start identifying players with that sort of potential early. That's why I have the efficiency pillars. That's why I have the benchmarks, because when you have these unknown players that suddenly are hitting a lot of these benchmarks, but they're doing it sneakily under the radar, it's only a matter of time before they have that breakout game. They get an allotment of minutes, or they just string together 3 or 4 of those games, and that's when everybody's like, oh, wow, I got to pick this guy up. You picked him up before he had that game, which means you were able to enjoy the fruits. All right, so Rollins, Oubre, Dylan Harper, Horder, all picked up and helping me so far since Doncic is injured. And a lot of those guys, I'm pretty sure we discussed as streamers. I picked up A.J. Mitchell at the end of last week, Dylan Brooks mid last week. Unfortunately, he is injured now. What are your thoughts on Josh Minot? Leaning towards dropping Hauser to grab Minot. I picked him up in one of my deeper formats just to gamble on if he continues to get the minutes. If he continues to get minutes, I think he could produce, but it seems like the Celtics are experimenting a lot with their rotation. All right. I dropped Kaysen Wallace for Dylan Harper. Don't hate the move necessarily. Really depends on your team format. Dylan Harper probably has more upside than Kaysen Wallace. Kaysen Wallace is a guy I love because he helps your percentages and gets you steals, blocks, and threes while not turning the ball over. But he's not a volume producer like Dylan Harper is going to be. So it depends. Do you need a glue guy or do you need an engine type player? And that's the difference there. Waiver claim on Josh Hart for Coward pending tonight. Yeah, a lot of people moving on from Josh Hart. I can't blame them for it, but just know Josh Hart is a very high effort player, and the Knicks are just an injury or two away from Josh Hart having big value. Cedric, right now, probably is the better pickup, but long term, will he end up higher than Josh Hart? Well, what does Josh Hart have against him? He has a new coach in Mike Brown. He's probably not going to get nearly as many minutes as he was getting when he was playing with Tom Thibodeau. And then there are also a lot of wings on that team that are, we've discussed them, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. They have a lot of players that play similar roles, and he seems to be the odd man out. But he plays with so much effort. He's a great rebounding guard. And even on his other teams like the Lakers and the Pelicans, he's always been a guy that seems to find his way onto the court, and I think that's because of all the effort he plays with. So don't be shocked. Even if you drop him now, I would at least keep an eye on him, because I wouldn't be shocked to see him break out of the slump and all of a sudden be a very hot pickup because people gave up on him too early in the season, which happens all of the time. I went with my gut and accepted a trade away Sexton for Jeremy Grant and Zach Edey. Good for me, perhaps. I don't hate Jeremy Grant this season. I think Jeremy Grant looks like he has a very secure role, and he's been producing. I don't know. I don't hate that trade at all. I think I would have done that trade too. That benchmark data is definitely useful. Thank you for sharing that. I'm glad that it's useful, and I hope that everybody's understanding why I use the benchmark data to identify these players. When in the season would you start trading players? By DJ Ben. Anytime you can pull off a good trade, anytime you can get good value, anytime you can fix your team. There's no specific time of the year you need to trade. Your goal should always be to improve your team. Your goal should be to understand where your team is strong, where your team is weak, where you're hitting the benchmarks, where you're not. That's what these benchmarks are about. Your team should reach as many of these benchmarks as possible. The teams that don't are the teams that are losing. The teams that are winning are the ones that are. So anytime you can make your team stronger, it's the time to trade. Some people like to trade for the sake of trading, and they don't trade for a purpose. They just like trading. They like the dopamine hit of seeing trade accepted. Don't be that person. But if you have the opportunity to make your team better, then there should be no reason why you can't trade today. I've already done a trade. I've talked about it the other day. I traded Giannis Antetokounmpo, Joel Embiid, and Bona, and I traded them away for Nikola Vucevic, Anthony Davis, and Norman Powell, which I think in hindsight is a really fair trade. Giannis has been killing, but his free throw percentage did not go well with the rest of my build. Norman Powell, Vucevic, and Anthony Davis fit my build much better. And I just knew, even though Giannis was playing so well, with him not being, with me not correctly building around him, he was going to hurt me more than he was going to help me. I didn't punt free throw percentage because I hate punting free throw percentage. So I just shouldn't have grabbed them. So I did the next best thing. I pulled off a trade that helped me fix the issues with my team right away. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Eat my shorts. What should we do with the Indiana center rotation? They all seem like drops. It seems like Pascal Siakam is going to get the majority of minutes. Now, Obi Toppin is going to be missing, I believe, a month. So that could open up more minutes for Jay Huff or Isaiah Jackson. It seems like they don't like Isaiah. He just never gets the minutes. And I thought this was the year they would get minutes, and it still hasn't happened. Jay Huff can shoot, and he can get you some blocks. So I like Jay Huff more. I drafted him in a few leagues and then ended up dropping him because of the same issues with the rotation being weird with the centers. But if Obi's going to be missing some time, I could see Jay Huff being the one that wins out and gets hopefully more than 20 minutes per game. And if he can play 20-plus minutes, I like his upside for the threes and the blocks. Don't really expect anything else out of him besides that. All right. Appreciate your style and content, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys for sitting here and hearing me rant about fantasy basketball. Of all the things you could do with your life, the fact that you chose this to do, I'm grateful, believe me. You dropped Aaron Wiggins a day before his big game, and Al Horford after his bad comeback. Any ideas on Saddiq Bey? Al Horford is really old, and Aaron Wiggins is on a loaded team, so don't fret. Don't give yourself too much anxiety about fringe players like that, because in fantasy basketball on a daily basis, opportunities pop up that are just as good as Aaron Wiggins, and you just have to be aware. And if you're too worried about crying about spilled milk, you'll miss out on the opportunities that open up on a daily basis. We can find out in the next 20 minutes that a starter is out for the rest of the season. And then there's a guy on the waiver wire who will now get starter minutes and fits our profile, who is going to kill the rest of the season. And you're too busy crying about Aaron Wiggins to even notice. You don't want to make that mistake. So whatever, it sucks, but we'll move on. Golden State Warriors also look stacked. I was thinking of offering Podzinski for Kuminga, as Pods might not get enough minutes. I think I prefer Kuminga over Podzinski, so if you can pull that off, I think I would do it. Should I follow in your footsteps and trade away my Giannis for Chet and Kyshawn? If your team is not built around Giannis, then I don't know how. What was your record? How was your first week? Did you win your week? I think we may have talked about it, but I've had Giannis in the past on a team that was not built correctly around him, and even though he put up this production, he was more useful in my IL because suddenly I won free throw percentage. Suddenly I won turnovers. And the points and rebounds he was giving me, he unlocked other categories that allow me to win more than I was without him than I was with him. So Giannis, you have to build very particularly around his weaknesses and accentuate his strengths. So if you didn't do that correctly, you might want to consider moving on. It doesn't look like we have any more questions, so I'm probably going to wrap it up. All right, we got one more, but that's it, guys. We're going to wrap it up at the 45-minute mark exactly. So if you get a question in before the 45-minute mark, then I'll answer. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Would you trade Cat or Miles Turner for more scoring in the points category? I don't think I would trade away either one of those guys. Miles Turner is off to a slow start, but we've seen that from him in the past. I think he has a very secure role, and he's on a team that is used to Brook Lopez shooting and shot blocking. So I think overall he fits their scheme really well. He's been off to a putrid start, so I get the temptation to move on. But he's one of the best three-point shooting shot blockers in the NBA. He got a huge contract, and I wouldn't want to trade him away. Karl-Anthony Towns, I value him because he can score a lot. He can rebound a lot. He's going to get you assists. He is dealing right now with a leg injury that he's playing through. He's been listed as questionable multiple games in a row, so that could be impacting his production. But it's really hard to tell you to trade Karl-Anthony Towns away when he has the potential to be a top 5 player. And we saw some of that last year, so I wouldn't trade either one of those right now. Yeah, we did talk about it. Lost 4-5 because Luka got hurt. Lost by 1 steal and 2 3-pointers. So we did talk about it. But yeah, I would explore that. But he has been doing really well. So his value's really high right now. You might be able to get a really good haul. Especially if you trade him to a team that's already built around his weaknesses, then they might value him even more. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Brock Lesnar of Brock Lesnar Hoops. Smash that like button for me. Subscribe to Brock Lesnar Hoops if you have not yet, and consider joining one of my membership tiers. You get a cool badge that you get to show off. You get priority responses. If you leave a comment on one of my videos and you have the member badge, you will be at the top of my list to prioritize responding to you. It's only a couple of bucks, and it supports me and all the work I've been putting in. I've been spending hours and hours and hours trying to give you the best content that I can. The channel isn't as big as I want it yet, but the people that do follow me are very passionate and let me know that I should continue doing this. I want to put in all the effort I haven't put in the past before I had a full-time job, which kind of kept me from putting my all into it. Now my only job is managing a nightclub, a comedy club, and that's towards the evening on weekends, which allows me my days to actually focus on building my channel. And you're an important part of that process and that journey. So every little bit of support, even if that's just showing up, subscribing, clicking that like button, or just watching the whole video and getting the average watch time up. If you see my video, you see the thumbnail, you click on it. These small things that the algorithm rewards, that allows me to continue doing this for you and hopefully helping you win some money or just some bragging rights for your fantasy basketball teams. Ultimately, that's my most important goal. All right, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.